Welcome back to the Light Renegades. My name is Starr. Thank you for joining me today, everyone. I wanted to start by saying I don't feel quite here, so apologies everyone. I wasn't expecting to do a video today, but the GA stepped forward and said, they wanted to share some messages for the collective. I've very much been in my own space, collecting, I want to say soul fragments of myself is the best way to describe it, and I'm still in research mode with a lot of things, everyone. And I'm laughing because I feel like there is an undercurrent of energy right now that is ever increasing for the light. But that's also a tearing down of self and consciousness at the exact same time. So for those that are feeling perhaps, very two extreme understandings of energy, you're not in the wrong. There is a lot happening at this time. And yeah, I'm not sure what the GA are going to exactly bring forward today, but they did share kind of just 2 sentences with me the other day, and I thought, okay, I'll bring that forward when it's time. And they wanted to speak about this idea of false prophets. And in my a couple of videos ago, I mentioned someone that I had witnessed in, the Starseed community that I felt here was just kind of to muddy the waters of understanding. And then GA come forward with this message of there is a strong difference between a being here trying to sway the majority understanding for their own benefit, and a being bringing forward an expression of their consciousness that may not be the same as yours or in alignment with you in any way. And there is a strong differentiation between both of those things, and I think that is very important to note. Sometimes there are aspects of other souls' consciousness that are being brought to the forefront, and it doesn't align with anything that you are connected to, or perhaps something that you might be shying away from at that moment in time in your expanse. And that's okay. Those aren't the beings out here that are connected to a different agenda for self. And self can mean lots of things at this time. Self can mean the ego stepping forward. The self can mean perhaps a trauma-induced part of self that is stepping forward without realizing it. I definitely feel like I'm partially in this category somewhere when it pertains to the darkness, and that's something that I'm having to understand and work through and come to some sort of understanding so I can bring it all forward to all of you. So the darkness is still going on, understanding darkness is still going on, and I'm curious if that's going to come into play today with the GA's message, because I've been in some quite extreme understandings of where my consciousness has been in other lifetimes, and that coming as no surprise to me. And I have been told this before on my path, but I think it has it's definitely pushed me to my limit, everyone. And I think I'm laughing because I'm nervous to bring it forward, because I think that we've got into a space now where we kind of know what is going on, but I think there is a whole other space that we just haven't truly understood or experienced yet as a collective, and I think that we're coming to that time very soon. So I'm interested to what the GA has to say. For those that might be new, the GA is the fractal of the Galactic Federation of Light that once was for us here. My name is Starr. I consider myself to be a Pleiadian Starseed, so I'm working backwards today, everyone. And yeah, thank you for joining me, but I'm going to take a minute and bring the GA in and see what they wish to share with us today. Thank you, dear ones. We are incredibly glad that you are all here today. We have much to share and much to perhaps instill questions within you all at this time. Many of you are expanding to levels and layers that you just haven't truly experienced before, and we've been waiting for this time for quite some time. We are coming to a splitting of energies, of fractals of understanding, and you are all coming into alignment with your true soul's essence and understanding. So please have no fear with where you find yourself right now in your process, in your unprocessing, in your breaking down, in your extracting and moving forward. So many of you are circling back around to truly understand your life and understand just exactly why you are here, what your mission is, what your statement of expression is this lifetime. We know so many of you have been asking for this for a very long time, and we are grateful to share that those times are coming to the forefront, to the now, so that you can start to experience this process at a much more heart-centered space. And this is what we've been hoping for, what we've been waiting for quite some time. we wanted to bring forward this understanding of false prophets right now, because we see so many understandings being brought to the collective, and the collective are having to decide exactly which way that they would like to turn. And we wanted to make sure that you are focusing your light on everything for the highest good for yourself and those around you. We see so many getting confused with regards to what is their true heart's knowing, and how much you are willing to perhaps put forward for your strength and for your safety of consciousness. We see so many of you keep folding, keep turning around, keep trying to look over your shoulder. We wish to share with you that the only way is forward and through. We know at times it feels very difficult to keep pushing when you feel like you have been pushing for so long, and we are here to say that we want to take some of the weight of that off of your shoulders. It is time to surrender to the energies of now. It is time to surrender to the energies of all that is possible, and allow yourself to shine in the spaces where you perhaps feel the least amount of comfort. We are understanding that comfortability has come in with such ease to some of you, and it is time to break free from those molds. So do prepare for things to feel a little chaotic, for things to feel a little bit challenging as we push forward with this idea of expanding consciousness. There are many pillars within these small communities right now that are sharing their soul's expression and their soul's gifts. We are not talking about those energies, those entities that are bringing forward what they believe to be their true heart's knowing, and you can tell. It is in someone's eyes, it is in the way someone speaks, it is in the way that they deliver a message. You can tell when a being has heart. There is so much out there that is truly confusing to so many, because we have gotten used to the frequencies of the negative reptilian order. It has become normal. It has become socialized within all of your constructions, and it has allowed for this energy just to feel like you understand it and that it's yours. We want you to truly tune into the frequencies of all of those that you are watching, all of those that you are consuming. We've seen that so many of you have decided to shy away from the mass media, which we are very grateful for, and we see that it is helping your consciousness expand at a very rapid rate. I think we've been taken aback just how much this one fragment of understanding and stopping that notion has allowed for so many to leap forward in their path and in their journey. But now we are looking much more closely to the realms of the spiritual communities, the expansive communities, and we wish to express that sometimes a being will step forward with what they think is an understanding that is going to help the collective consciousness. Yet this is still coming from perhaps a very wounded space in that individual. And this is not to say that that expression is not true, but this is to share that, perhaps connecting that to the masses of this spiritual community is not going to be in alignment. So we ask that you truly take a look at what you are consuming, how you are consuming it, and if it truly does radiate with your consciousness. Granted that there are things out here to expand your consciousness. This idea of the light and the darkness right now we see is a big one for so many, and we understand that pushing you into spaces to understand the darkness a little bit better is triggering your consciousness into expanding even deeper. However, there are still fragments of this understanding that when circling back around, you can see where someone is coming from a wounded space, and perhaps the information that they are bringing forward may not be of help for you. That is not to say that information will not be of help to others that perhaps have similar woundings, that perhaps have similar forms of trauma that they are working through. This is where this is helpful to some, but not all. So we think it's important to note here that there is two very different understandings at this time. There are those figures that have been put in place for this exact moment right now. Just as much as we are prepared for what was to come, there have also been strategic places that this negative reptilian order have placed figureheads to still be disrupting the consciousness as a whole with regards to all of these understandings. And we know that all of you know this, but we want you to take a look at this now, because we are coming into a time where we said those two fractals of understanding are splitting again. There are those that are wanting to reach the highest vibration and also come to an alignment which is that of their soul's inherent knowing. There are those that are going to perhaps take a little bit of a slower path, still on the same path of seeking the highest vibration and consciousness, but just in a very different manner. manner. So we wish for you to make sure that you are taking a look at the spaces that are truly going to be for you moving forward as we hit this pivotal point of understanding. That being said, we want to make sure that no one is of fear at this time. No one is sinking into fear. No one is perhaps taking too much of a, perhaps giving their energy too much, giving their energy away too much to spaces that they feel have control at this time. As we have stated before, the negative reptilian order does have this strongholding over this planet. However, you have already broken free by being awake, by knowing that they exist, by trusting that you know how to handle yourself and your energy and your sovereignty. You have already broken free of this. This is not to say that beings will not be here to trigger you into further growth, but this is to help you understand that you are already free and already a sovereign being. We see so many of you thinking, I cannot do this, it is too difficult, the energies are too set against me. And we want you all to take a true look at that, because that is victimhood, that is victim mentality, and we want you to all understand that you are free. And we say this in triggering terms so that you can hear it. We say this in the highest love and the highest vibration, in the highest light, but also to let you know that it's time for you to truly set yourself free in the here and now. Claim that you are a sovereign being and that you are already free. So many of you are still seeking vibrations that truly do not serve your highest good. You are trying to make yourself fit into boxes that you have already outgrown. Please be aware of this. So many of you are trying to make yourself feel comfortable in the spaces that you are in, rather than leaping forward into the new and adjusting to new vibrations. New vibrations can often feel discomfortable, can often feel disruptive to you, can often make you feel uncomfortable. So it is about allowing yourself to feel into the uncomfort, but knowing that this is still of a high vibration for you. We see some of you thinking that the things that you are wanting to maneuver into are energies that are of the ego, rather than understanding that your true soul's expression perhaps feels like a lighter vibration than you are used to, specifically where we find ourselves in the expression of consciousness and the energies surrounding you all. It can often feel like it is your ego leading, because you haven't been used to loving self as deeply as you do right now, and that is still growing. This is still something that we are wanting to bring forward, so that you can understand that it is through loving yourself that you can expand deeper, you can expand further. So take a look at that alongside everything that we have told you today. How can you turn back around and give yourself so much love and compassion for how far you've already come in your journey? We wish to express just how deeply, deeply proud we are of each and every one of you, and allowing yourself to be witnessed in these spaces and to be held in your spaces of your light, but also in your shadow. There has been deep shadow work that the collective have been going through of late, and you've all been taking this valiant leap forward into expressing that I'm willing to change, I'm wanting to change, and I am wanting more. So do not turn back now. Do not turn back at the last hurdles when you are faced with understandings and situations that perhaps have pushed you into a space of the past, of a space that you were once a different being. Some of you are being tested at this time to make sure that you are ready for what's to come. And this is not to instill fear in any way, but just to make you aware that there are things that are sent to test you and challenge you on your path. You incarnated as a human being at this time to be tested. And this isn't something that is shared enough, and we understand that this soul sat before you was very much been wanting to express this, because this has been her journey this entire time, and she feels like there hasn't been enough spaces showing that. But that is part of the process, that is part of the journey, and that is part of soul's expression. But we think that is all that we would like to share with you today. So make sure that you are consuming content that is for your highest expression, that is expanding your consciousness, but tuning into the vibration of where the information is coming from a said being, and truly understanding if this information is for you, or if it's for someone else that is more aligned to that energy. And this is going to take you truly looking at your path of healing, where you find yourself in your healing as a physical human vessel right now, because we see so many of you switching outside of self into the energies of I'm much more than my vessel, I'm much more than a human, which is not wrong, but you are still having to work through the energies at a human level so that you can expand into the next. So you have to look at your trauma, you have to look at your perceived setbacks, and you have to look at everything that you've been through in this life and understand where that puts you on the ladder of healing for self, and be brutally honest with yourself about this, because in that moment, that is when you can truly set yourself free and perhaps give you the marker points for what you want to come in the future. This is going to be a collaborative effort on your part and us, teams of light and expanse. But this is about what you want to create as your reality moving forward. There is a collective consciousness, but there is still a life that you've been wanting to live somewhere. And we want you to experience this to the highest vibration, and allow for you to feel like you have freedom and total control over your life. We are here to assist you. We are here to help you gain whatever you are asking for this lifetime. And we promise you that if you are in alignment with your soul's path, this is what will happen for you when the time is right, when you are ready, when you are at a space in your consciousness to decide to say, yes, I am ready, I'm a sovereign being, and I deserve to receive. This is a message of receiving. This is a message of the collective still feeling like they aren't ready to receive, they aren't worthy to receive, and we want you all to take a look at that now. This is about you expressing yourself at the highest vibration and understanding that you are a divine being and you deserve love, you deserve compassion, you deserve to be held, you deserve to be witnessed in all of the strength and the glory that you are, and we want for all of you to be experiencing that this lifetime. But that's all that we have got for you today. Please do take care. Please do call us in if you need support. We are watching over every single one of you, and we love you all so very much. I feel like I have lots to say about what the GA have just said, and I'm trying to figure out where to start first. This idea of content being brought forward by creators that, have gone through their own set of trauma, and that be an expression of them. I feel like there is no way to get around that. That is everyone, unless you are an incredibly enlightened being, and granted those beings out there do exist, but I think we are all just bringing forward an expression of consciousness right now, and people are finding their lanes. This is about finding your lane. This is about finding the content that, truly resonates with you and your healing path. I think there is an alignment that's wanting to happen with regards to the, ascension process, with gaining all of this higher knowledge, all of this, these soul fragments from past lives and higher understandings, but we are still having to work at the human vessel, at the human understanding of what we've been born into. And this connects to, our DNA, our ancestral karma, and where our soul origins come from. So I think it's time to take a look again at your life. I think it's time to take a look again at where you find yourself in your healing journey, and to be incredibly and brutally honest with yourself. And I've had to completely put my hands up in the air this past week and say, wow, okay, like I can see where I've been coming from, a very wounded space in many areas of this path. And, I've definitely made some mistakes along the way. And I really wish that more people would step forward and, speak about the mistakes that they've made on this path. And that has gotten them to where they are today. I think it would be very helpful for a lot of the collective to know where people have come from, where they started from, and how that got them to where they are right now. And I know that many don't want to share that, because that's going to perhaps, invert commas, ruin business somewhere, I don't know. But I wish that more people would step forward and just be so honest about where they find themselves in their path, because it would definitely allow others more room to expand for themselves. And I think that sometimes we are looking at other people bringing information forward, and we think that they have it all figured out, and we don't. We 100% don't. Anyone that tells you that they do, they are lying somewhere, because they are still working through their own struggles and their own path somewhere. And that's not to say that they cannot be a mentor to you, someone that walks beside you and allows you to, express yourself at a deeper understanding and teach you something. We're all here to teach each other something, and I'm eternally grateful for this community. And, so much I gain from speaking with others and just hearing about their understanding of where they find themselves in their life. And I think that, I feel like I've been humbled into a space of truly understanding what this path of, expanse is about. And it's about allowing for yourself to truly witness yourself and say, I'm messy, I make mistakes, I've been living in my shadow at some points in my life, and that's okay. I think that somewhere I've been terrified to, fully express that, I guess, on a public platform, although I think that it's seeped out even when I didn't want it to. And I definitely been having to face my past and my journey and exactly where I find myself right now and say, there is still so much more healing that I need to do to be able to express myself to my full capacity. And, it's not been that long that I've been on this spiritual path, on this spiritual expanse. And we've had this channel for a year, but in that year, I've had to grow exponentially. And, there was times when I stepped away. There was times when all of us like Renegades, took a little break, had to come back. And it's because the energies that we are trying to access right now are just of a vibration that we truly have never experienced before. And I think there needs to be more grace within that. I think there needs to be more grace within saying, it's going to be a messy path. We are going to make mistakes, and that is okay. So I think just please take a look at where you are in your journey right now, and in the spaces that you might need a little bit more help, in the spaces that you might need a little bit more guidance, because I think we are, I don't want to say necessarily spiritually bypassing right now, but I think we're always looking to, the more the light, the expanse, rather than looking at what do we truly need to heal at a cellular level, what is coming through from our ancestry, what has come through our life path that we actually need to look at and heal so that we can authentically and truthfully access this light. It's okay to be receiving, all of these channelings, all of this understanding, but it comes back to the healing of self. And I actually realized that, I didn't expect any of this to happen. What happened on my journey was that I knew that I needed to heal myself. I knew that I was quite literally running myself into the ground. I was quite literally, slowly but surely killing myself. And I thought I have to make a change. There was something within me that just snapped and said, if you don't make a change, then this isn't going to last. And there's been more than a few times in my life that has happened. But this time I was, ready. And I trust in the divine timing of that. I trust in that, this is what I'm supposed to be doing and this is why I'm here. But at a very human level, I hit that rock bottom time and time and time again until it was, the right time to wake up. And I started to just heal myself. That's what this whole entire path was that I needed to heal myself. I was struggling with alcohol abuse. I was struggling with drug abuse. I was struggling with eating disorders for a very large part of my life, all very incredibly disruptive, and I'm trying to think of the right words because I don't like to use the word toxic, because I think that we all have ways to cope within these realms, but just incredibly destructive to myself. And somewhere I didn't even, not a scratch of me liked myself whatsoever. And it got into the point where I thought, if I don't change this, I'm not going to be here. And I'd been told that, a few times on my journey, on my path. And I will go into some videos about that. I think I've been putting it off for the longest time. But I'm having to face this now. And I feel like it's not necessarily a confession to all, but I think that it's so important to share where we've all come from, because it allows others to feel, that they're allowed to change too, that they're allowed to have made mistakes, that they're allowed to, show themselves not in the highest vibration at some points in their journey, and have that be a way that was a lesson to teach them. There are no true mistakes on any, life path or path at all, because it's all just learning. But I was definitely at the bottom of the barrel of all of this learning for quite some time. And I started to heal myself. I started to say, I need to make a change. I wanted to find peace in my mind and in my heart more than anything. So I started on the path of, experiencing meditation. I want to start meditating. And then that's when I started to feel like I was going somewhere else. I was not expecting that to happen on this path. I thought, I need to quiet my mind. I need to quiet my heart. And I need to find something that's going to help me feel more at peace being here, because it's a very chaotic space that we were finding ourselves in at that time. It was, through the lockdowns and all of that. So finding my expanse came simultaneously with my healing journey, and I wasn't expecting all of this that has come off the back of that, because I was just needing to heal myself. I just had that calling within myself that I needed to heal me, but somewhere this was being guided by teams of light, higher forces out there, was allowing me to get to that point of saying, okay, it's time to wake up, and I do have all of this other understanding that is going on right now with resonating with being a, you know, Pleiadian Starseed that's very much connected to this mass consciousness that we have going on right now, and, you know, fighting this negative reptilian regime. But I've still been having to access my very human space, my very 3D reality, and be healing myself at that cellular level, because it's all of those understandings that are coming together. And, you know, there has definitely been spaces where my Pleiadian energy has come in and almost bypassed the soul's essence of this vessel a few times. And I think that's for a deeper layer of understanding at some point. But I just wanted to allow for the room to everyone to really take a look at your 3D right now. You know, I kind of hate this differentiation between the 3D, 5D, you know, new earth, higher consciousness, blah, blah, blah. I believe in it all, but I think we're very much separating the two when they do come as one. And I think, you know, I've been avoiding the 3D because it's been painful. I've been avoiding, you know, truly speaking about the 3D because that's the bit that's the most painful. You know, it's easy to be in the expanse knowing that we've won towards the light, but actually we're living this soul's path, and we've come into these vessels to help ourselves expand. And I guess somewhere I'm speaking to more starseeds at this moment in time with regards to all of this. But somewhere we have all been other beings in different realms and different understandings. And I think that we are just trying to make sense of realms at this time that are truly unfathomable to the human mind, but we're having to go back and to heal those aspects that are still impacting on us, being able to ascend higher. And I think I've been having to, you know, truly have a rude awakening somewhere to say, hey, look, you've got all of this other stuff that you still haven't fully looked at yet because it has been so painful. And, you know, I've been having to expand in these spaces. I've been having to understand, you know, my psychic abilities, all of these types of stuff, my clairs coming online, all of that stuff. But then I've had to pivot, and I've been like, oh yeah, all of this other stuff too. And the two are aligned, but I think that we often bypass this bit because it's the most painful. You know, it's the things that really hurt us. It's the things that have caused us the most trauma, the most pain. It's so easy to, I guess, look at the negative reptilian forces right now because it's almost like we can just put all blame on them. But in this 3D realm, I'm starting to see, you know, where I have to take blame and responsibility for myself in some circumstances in my life and say, hey, you know, I did that to me. I put that energy onto me. My expression of my consciousness at that time was so deeply wounded that I made that thing happen that came back to hurt me. And it came to hurt me so that it could trigger me into healing myself and then expressing myself in this most, the highest vibration that I continue to strive towards. But I think we're having to pivot, everyone, at this moment in time so that we can truly heal this past, you know, the parallel timelines at this time, so that we can access more. And I hope what I'm saying is making sense, but I've definitely been in the mud of my past, in the mud of my very 3D human experience. And, you know, that came like a weight. I'm not going to lie, everyone. It was very much a, oh yeah, I've been through so much. I put myself through so much. My expression of consciousness was at a very low vibration and ebb for a real long time of my life. And that, yes, that is connected to this 5D, you know, negative reptilian, my bloodline, all of that stuff. But it was still here, and I'm having to heal that and have compassion for self. And I feel like that is the true work that is happening right now. So we're heading to it in a space of deeper healing, I think, right now, everyone. And, you know, take what aligns for you. Some of you might have done a lot of this healing already, in which case this message isn't for you. But I think some of us are taking a stopgap right now to look at it all so that we can close some doors that genuinely just need to be shut, and give ourselves the grace to have known that we tried the best. We did the best that we could with the information that we had. And now that we know more, we can shine a better light on all of those aspects. So I'm bringing my 5D into my 3D and understanding it, you know, at all different facets. So I hope that this made some sense. I hope that this has given you room to perhaps look at yourself again, your life again, and give you the room to say, you know, I need to step forward and heal every part of me. And I think that it's just time. I think that there are many spaces that don't think about the both in that end. It's all parallel, it's all one, it's all unity consciousness. So the more that you can focus on your own true deep healing, the more that you are doing for the collective. And I think somewhere we are self-sacrificing in this idea of the expanse and, you know, I guess not doing the true work is what I want to share. And apologies if this is triggering for anyone. And I'm completely calling myself out here within that, but also knowing that, you know, I was having to stay in this space and expand so much that it was just focused on this, and this, you know, rather than simultaneously. But I think we're coming into more of a balance, and we're ready to catapult forward, everyone. So we're going to have to look at the things that have been painful. We're going to have to look at the spaces that have been incredibly triggering and taxing on our life, because we're ready to heal it, and you know, the time is now. So that's all that I've got for today, everyone. Apologies that this feels quite a I don't know, it might feel like you aren't doing enough, which is not what I'm trying to say. And this is very much a message for myself. And, you know, I'm sharing this because this is where I've been. If this does not resonate with you, you know, this is not your message today, but thank you for showing up. Thank you for, you know, hearing my understanding right now and listening to the GA message. But I think that some of us are really having to take a look right now at whom we are and why we are truly here. And for that to be what moves us, what drives us forward. And, you know, I've been asked, why am I doing what I'm doing? And, you know, I had to take a real deep, hard look at that. And, you know, the answers that I gave myself, I think, surprised myself. And somewhere I had to look at shadow too within all of that. And, you know, I came to the understanding that all of this was done for my freedom. And I think that that perhaps is going to be the answer for so many of you out there too. So the best way to free yourself is to heal yourself, is what I want to share. And please know that all of us Light Renegades are here to support you. You know, we've all been through very different understandings of life, and there's a purpose to that. I think any soul that is stepping forward that has lived a life has gained some wisdom, and we are all just sharing the wisdom that we have learned on our life path. And, you know, I'm still very early on in all of this and all of my journey, and I've said that from the beginning. I've been very much learning, I think in a backwards sense, and I'm having to trust the process in that. But I've made some huge mistakes, you know, and I have to take ownership of that, and I'm having to take the ownership now. So I think that I'm in a space of deep healing, everyone. Apologies if this just felt like a bit of a rant from me. I think it's I hope everyone is doing this, because I know that this is for my highest good, but it's been a painful pill to swallow somewhere too. But I'm trying to have the most amount of compassion for myself and for where I find myself in the journey, and knowing that, you know, this is a stepping stone. It's not going to be a fast process. I think we're all just hoping for, you know, the pain to be smoothed over somewhere, and, you know, we have to take those responsibilities for self to say, hey, you know, I'm a big person, I'm a big soul, and I came here to do the work. So yeah, I'm in a space of deep healing. I'm in a space of combing over my whole entire life path. I will bring as much forward as I feel like is necessary, and also as I feel is going to be helpful. You know, I don't want this to be a trauma dumping space either, but I think that I would like to share my truths of my life, because I think that might help others feel seen. And I think somewhere there has been a fear that's been keeping me stuck in a box too, of, you know, fearing that if I bring my true self forward, that perhaps people won't believe where I am right now or the things that I'm bringing through right now. But I'm seeing that that's a construct of, you know, where we find ourselves in this paradigm, and I don't want to sit in fear anymore. So I want to bring forward my story, my expression, and yeah, you know, I'm just ready is what I want to share. But that's all that I've got for today, everyone. Please do take care, and, you know, self-care above all else is what I want to say. And we are accessing more of our true expression so that we can access more at a later date, when the timing is right, when the energies are aligned. I feel like we're just being pushed back into a space of deep healing so that we can catapult forward. So for those that have been feeling that, you might feel like you've taken a few steps back. I definitely do. I feel like I've been reverted back to a space before I was awake, and what that felt like, so that I can truly understand where I was at that time, and, you know, perhaps some spaces that I need to shine more of my own light on those aspects and say, you know, okay, I did my best and I tried, you know. So I think please just hold on to, you are growing, you're expanding. Doesn't matter how old you are, where you are on your path, we're always going to need to do more healing, and that deep healing starts now. So take the time to truly assess where you are in your journey, be brutally honest, and start to make those changes. Take those steps to reach out to those spaces that you perhaps will know that will be able to help you, and seek out your light at all costs, everyone. But that's all that I've got for today. Take care.